Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to our December 12th, 2024 regular meeting. It is now approximately 12:01. If we can open in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, as the holidays come, we know, Lord, that there are a lot of people that are hurting from families that can't be together, and Lord, that may be by themselves. And we ask that you be with this meeting as we come to do the work of the body of the township. For it's in your name we pray. Jan, would you like to lead us in a pledge?
Yes, I would. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everybody warm, oh good, comfortable in here compared to outside? If I can have a roll call, please.
Mr. Garland?
Here.
Mr. Flashman?
Here,
And Mr. Leisure is excused.
okay. Thank you, Mr. Blevins, I forgot about that. You want to call it, or I can?
It's just Cindy.
Okay. Okay, Cindy,
Well, is that where we're at?
where we're at, it's a speaker, wait a minute.
No,
Rusty,
wrong
is that-
answer there, dear.
I apologize.
All good.
I'm just gonna ask you how your Thanksgiving was.
Quiet.
We have a speaker from Franklin County Soil and Water Conservation. Sir, if you'd like to step up here.
I am John Bailey, Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District. Just wanted to let you know who we are. We're the Conservation District in Franklin County. We help out with the stormwater permit, which Franklin Township is part of the county stormwater permit. We do a lot of the sediment erosion controls. We take a lot of the flooding calls. We may not have all the answers, but we can hopefully find a direction to give you guys to. I've given Steve some information to hand out and have out in the public. And the main thing I wanted to do today was give a big kudos to the road department. There's a conservation easement out on the old Children's Services site where we've had a lot of illegal dumping. I've been working with the sheriff department, and the road department came out Tuesday and hauled out how many truckloads?
3 truckloads.
3 truckloads of trash. They've blocked access, and people have moved the access, the blockage that they've added to the site, and we're hoping to find a more long-term solution so people can go out and enjoy the property, and then limit access to people with vehicles that can go out and dump on there. Again, thank you for your partnership. It's been a pleasure, and really excited.
So I have a question. So you guys deal with the streams and the waterways and et cetera?
Yes, to an
Okay.
extent.
So what I was sitting here trying to do is to pull up a picture, which I'm probably not gonna be able to. We have a place on Angaro, which Angaro is just off of Wilson Road, just to the south of Trayview Road. So you can turn on Trayview and then turn again on Angaro, so it kind of cuts through.
Okay.
They have a creek that goes through there, and what's running through people's front yards, the earth falls down in there, and there's like chunks. We're not supposedly to touch it or go in and try to remove it, but when we get those spring rains or summer rains where you get 2 inches in an hour, the whole street everywhere floods. Is it possible to put that on the radar, to be able to maybe walk that and take a look at that waterway and all the blockages that holds?
I'll write a note of it right now.
Yeah, okay, so that would be great. That was on Garo.
How do you spell that?
Is that,
Ongaro on Garo.
and it's just off of Wilson Road, just shy of Trayview Road. And it would be on your left, which would be your west side of Wilson.
Goes from Wilson to Trayview.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do, I know just thinking off the bat, education, outreach to the landowners, what we do to stabilize their bank and everything like that.
Sure.
And find out is it petitioned at all by the county,
So that's a big question, because one time I brought that up at a county commissioners meeting. I don't know if it ever went anywhere, but the problem is, even with the building in that area, as you take Trayview Road and it goes up over the train tracks, what used to be our property was annexed, and now there are apartments in there, so you have more, less topsoil and
More
more
discharge.
blacktop, more discharge, and we're seeing more water flooding in that area. So if the county would go through and check, I mean, is there trees in the way, is there, I mean, I know there's blockages. It flows on a regular basis, but when we get some good rain, it's just, you can't even drive through it.
Yeah, I will definitely, follow up on that,
Sure,
and I'll follow up.
Sure.
So we, can at least, try to pinpoint
Right.
an issue that we can move forward on.
right, because I'm sure it has not been looked at for many, many years. Tree falls in the forest, does anyone know it?
Yeah, and
So-
with the change of rainfall, it seems like we're getting a lot more sudden downbursts.
Right.
That cause like quick flooding instead of, a low trickle or just, normal rainfall, which a lot of these streams, if they've been changed, have been meant to handle, but now it's these quick flashes that we're, working on trying to figure out a solution for moving forward, but by the time we figure that out, something else might happen.
So when you go on Garrow, it goes down,
Mhm.
and then it has a curve. And in that curve, you can see the big old ditch line, and there's always water going through it. And in that curve, that water gets up to almost to people's front doors. So if you ever drive on Garrow, you just look at their front doors and think, wow, that's a lot of water if it gets to their front doors.
Okay, so mainly look for blockages and any other inputs
Yeah,
that might be.
yeah,
causing
because I've
problems.
seen blockages where it's like pieces of earth fell down and now the water's going around it. Had some of that been out of the way, it may have not backed up as fast.
I've also got, business cards, if
Sure.
anybody,
Trade.
Thank you, sir.
So what I'd like to do at this time is open up the floor if there's any questions. Hearing no questions.
Yes,
I-
there is.
Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead, Brenda.
For him?
Yes.
Okay, so I called, Franklin Soil, probably about a year ago now. They were trying to put a development, behind us. You guys told us because that development is going in the city of Columbus, that you guys can't do anything about it, even though the water runoff from the development that they wanna put in will, affect my property.
We could only, when it's in Columbus or another municipality, we could only make suggestions, to the due city of Columbus, and then did they get you a contact name for who was, so when you contacted, was the development already started?
No, it still hadn't started.
Okay,
I've
hasn't started yet?
successfully stopped it so far.
Okay, yeah.
But it's still, on the radar, because I'm not sure if the city of Columbus has acquired the wetlands that lie behind my house.
Yeah, it goes to, home rule and legal, we're more of a, we can provide guidance, we can do plan reviews and stuff in the unincorporated Franklin County, but when it comes to Columbus, Columbus is its own entity.
Right,
So-
but it's the one that would be affecting our properties though. And, but I did end up getting a hold of EPA, Army Corps of Engineers, FEMA, and I think that's why it's stalled out.
It's still, but it still may be coming, just,
Yeah,
yeah,
I keep an eye on it,
yeah. There is not much we can do for that.
even though that it floods into our side,
Yes,
but, because there's a creek that runs behind my house.
but they still have to get all the permits, they'll have to get, are they gonna remove the wetlands, or are they going to? I guess I would need to see the plan to understand what's going on from the location,
I don't have it with me,
yeah.
but,
Okay.
I mean, I didn't know.
Anyone else have a question?
No.
Okay, hearing none. Thank you very much, John, for coming out. We
Yeah, thanks
appreciate
for
that.
coming.
Thanks
Nice to
again
meet
for
you.
having us.
Appreciate
Glad
it.
we did.
We don't have Patty Spencer here, and I do not see anyone from the sheriff's department, so we're going to go down to the police department. Chief Smith, you're up.
Okay.
Did I miss something?
Yeah, we gotta have public comment now.
Oh, yes. Okay, now,
Right
I apologize.
Now you, Cindy.
Yes, Cindy,
Thanking you.
thank you for keeping me
No,
straight.
no, we're working
No,
together.
that's good.
Hey, we're gonna keep you straight. You want
Thank
any
you.
chickens?
my question again, with respect to the cost of what it was to put home rule on the ballot, I still feel as though it messed us up on the fire department, and residents I've talked to are definitely not happy about the home rule at all. And it's like, you know, what kind of money does it cost us to put it on the ballot? Because for all intents and purposes, it's kind of a waste of our resources.
I know we talked about this before, and, if that's what caused it, it caused it. When you look at the grand scheme, it came down to 80 votes. I know as a trustee, I said, when we see that there is a need, we put it on the ballot and let the people decide. The people spoke and said they didn't want it, so it didn't pass. There's nothing more that we can do other than the same as if the police department or the fire department. If there's a need, our responsibility is to put it on the ballot and allow the people to make the decision.
Well, and then that part I respect, but, you know, home rule was put on, I don't know what it cost us for home rule, the residents already said, don't want this, yet we do it anyway. And I find that expenditure
We
just not good.
We have an obligation to put it on the ballot. As many no's as there was yeses. So people on the other side would say, if someone that voted for it could argue the same question, saying, at least I have a right to vote on it, versus people saying, nah, we didn't even want it on the ballot.
Okay.
So alls we do, we don't determine up here, we see a need, we have an obligation, we put it on, and we let the people speak.
Right, but again, my question is, how much money did it cost the township to put home rule on the ballot?
I'm sure that we can get you that number, because we have
Okay,
not
I've
got
asked
those
before.
yet. So if you would do a records request, I don't know the total yet. I know being that it's a presidential election, cost is different, and we can get you that cost.
Okay.
So just put in a records request and we'll be able to get that for you.
Good enough?
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to Chief Smith.
Sir.
It must be on the back of the laundry list for today's.
Yeah, it is. We'll start with the stats for November. We had 77 calls for service. 12 instances where we assisted other units, 14 burglaries, 1 bad check, 98 auto crashes, 1 robbery, 38, domestics, 7 alcohol-related incidents, 7 fights, 35 thefts, 3 persons with a gun, 7 shots fired, 26 stolen vehicles, 1 recovered vehicle, 8 suicide attempts, 9 vandalisms, 10 threat harassment complaints, 60 alarm drops, 2 sex offenses, 2 overdoses, 170 suspicious persons in cars, 116 traffic stops, 74 citations issued and/or arrests, 84 reports issued.
So Chief, I heard the statistics, or not the statistics, the stats from last month, and the suicide attempts, is that up due to this time of year? Is that typical?
It can be. During the holidays, you typically will see more of those suicide attempts, depression tends to kick in around the holidays, so it's certainly a factor.
Can I chime in here since we're on that topic? I'd like to give a shout out to Officer Kidwell for the award that he received last night. I saw that on Facebook and I knew nothing at all about it, but I wanted to note it today here in the meeting and tell him congratulations, and I wrote on there, job well done. So if you would relay that message to him personally,
I will.
for me, I would appreciate it.
It was on my list. I didn't know what.
Oh,
it
I'm
was
sorry, I
for.
didn't mean to jump ahead.
Oh, you're fine. So the incident, we found out was on 7/29, he assisted the county with a potential suicide jumper on the bridge over 270, I think it was Dean's. So they successfully were able to get the person off the bridge.
Is that George's on 270?
No, I think it was Dean's Road, going out that way towards 270. So they were able to get him off the bridge safely and take him in for treatment. So he was put in for a life-saving award by the sheriff's office. So kudos to Matt. Did a good job.
Well, it's, does show a testament of us working hand in hand with the county as well.
Yeah.
Both departments can work together.
Yeah, we have a really good relationship with the county, try to use all their resources I possibly can. So a few other things I have. I actually just got a call in between our two meetings from Chip Cahall, who is the husband, I believe, of Pamela Cahall from the trailer park on Baldwin. So as we speak, there is demolition crews, they are taking down trailer A, which is the one you asked me about.
Yes, sir.
And also trailer 15, which is the one where the deceased body was found.
Okay.
Great job.
So that's,
Yeah.
he doesn't know if it'll happen within a day, but they are gonna be there until it's done. So,
I'm surprised they don't just hook to it and pull it out of there.
yeah, I'm not sure what the
Why demo it
process
there?
is.
Yeah.
You know, I know he's got the demolition equipment, he said, up there, so I told him we'd try to keep an eye on it. And then he has it parked where they have their new camera system. 40 Broadlawn, so I went out and looked at it Tuesday, so it's boarded up, didn't appear to be any activity. However, in the rear by the alley is a large amount of trash. Nicole doesn't have anything on it, she is gonna send it over to zoning, to see what they have. It's been boarded up for quite a long time, but it doesn't appear to be open, so. That's where we're at with that. Homeless camp off of Geneva, so I have a meeting here tomorrow morning at 10 AM with a gentleman from ADP to discuss what they can do to help us get the homeless camp off of the property. We've already started kind of prodding them to get them removed, so I would assume, at the very least, we will get a signed agreement that we can trespass people off their property. However, I'm hoping they will do a little more and help us secure that property and keep them from coming back.
Are you able to relay that to?
Yes, so I'm gonna speak at this point for a second, Chief. So I get a lot of phone calls, several of these things, you and I have been working 40, Broadlawn, the trailer court and things like that, and also the, homeless camp at the end of Geneva, and the people from Wilson can see it. What people have to understand, it takes time to get all of this done. It isn't that we're not doing anything, and you're welcome to call me as many times as you want, and you can go on Facebook or anywhere else and trash this, but we're working on it. Feel free to call, but we're working on it, and this is the proof is in the pudding right here today, when he says that in that trailer park, they are now actively, tearing down these trailers. So, people think that we're not doing anything, and you can't impress it upon them enough. And we work together, you did the work, but I kept in touch with you. And with this meeting tomorrow, I'll do my best to be up here at 10 o'clock, so I can meet the people from AEP too. I just need it to be said, you know, I don't enjoy reading that I'm doing nothing.
Right.
When I say me, they're not necessarily saying me, but people have to realize this is a slow moving project. All the cards are stacked against us. All the cards are stacked in the favor of the homeless people. And things, you know, the government just makes it virtually impossible to get anything done. So,
It does.
I appreciate everything you've done, but I needed to say that, I had it written down, and that was the opportune time to say it, so,
Goes right along with it.
yes, sir.
El Paso, so we're actively working the speeding issues. Wanna thank Jim, he worked with Dave on putting a solar, maintainer device on top of one of the old speed signs. So we will be hanging that the first of the week. That'll be more of a permanent, on the pole that they've already remounted for me, up on El Paso. So. we're
So
getting
no
that.
trailer, just be the pole
It'll
and
be
ground?
on the pole.
Perfect, I think
So-
that's a better look and everything.
It'll be a constant, and if that works out, we can always get another one for the other one. and put it somewhere in a more permanent location too. And then we'll take the 2 trailers we have and keep moving them around.
So last week, we had the discussion, Jerry and his wife was here in Hague Avenue. And I happened to hear this week from him in regards to, an accident that almost took place at the end of his driveway where someone was trying to stop to turn in his driveway. And fortunately, they saw the car trying to get to a stop and they had to accelerate up to make room so that the car could stop. I know that we're always told that you can't have speed bumps, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, that is a county road, that's not our road. But rather than just go by what we're told, I honestly, Steve, think that we need to try to see if we can look into this and see if we can get this done. Is there a policy that we have to take, and if so, what would it cost? I'd like to revisit in today's world of having speed bumps in some of these high traffic areas, or we call them speed bumps, they call them traffic control, call it what you want.
Yeah, traffic calming.
Yes, but, and Chief, if you can look into that as well. The first hurdle is to say, well, we can't do it because of the liability. Well, what if we have liability insurance to cover that? Then that takes that away. Then secondly, the cost of it, is there grants, we all need to look together, is there grants that will cover some of these type of things? But I disagree with if the city is able to do it, and then there are some in the county, why we can't do it. You know, we always hear past practice. So I think that it's time for us to try to find a way to be able to do it.
Well, I know Madison Township, I read something where they're actually starting to put some of those on their roads too.
Yeah.
I don't know which kind, if it's the humps or whatever
Right.
it is.
But if we always go by what we've been told, oh no, it's a new world, let's just find out. What does it take to do it? Let's quit asking, can we do it? We need to ask, what does it take to do it?
Would really help on the pass. You don't mean Hague Avenue.
Yes, that is correct. Did I say Hague?
You do.
I apologize, yes,
Speed
El
limit's
Paso.
too high for that.
Yeah, my apologies.
Yeah. But yeah, El Paso.
It's just
some of the
to
other
the west of, somewhere west, back west of, Hague Avenue.
Yeah, I think it's anywhere where the speed limit is 25 or less. I think
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't see them on roads.
Yeah, cause that definitely, and with road closures and stuff that we're seeing that's coming up on Hague, that is going to be a hot, possibly cut through.
Right. No, I agree. The last thing I have is a budget update, with the police budget. So we are actually sitting pretty well. As of this morning, we are 81% through our budget, and we're already in the middle of December, so.
Nice job.
So that's about $120,000 carryover?
Well, right now we have 1.2 million in change in the bank.
Okay,
So we're guesstimated, we have 323 unencumbered, but everything that's in the line item not being used as part of our carryover.
okay,
So we'll have a significant carryover of 125.
okay.
So it's a really good year.
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
considering
the cost of fuel, the cost of
overtime
everything.
was
Yeah.
crazy and the maintenance for the cars has been up there. But yeah, all in all, it's still good. That's all I have. Thanks, Chief.
Okay, so at this time, I would like to open up the floor for any quick questions. We can't go into long drawn out questions. If anyone has a question for the chief. Hearing none, I'll close the floor. I'm gonna go back to the sheriff's department and see if you have anything for us today.
Hey, sir, sorry about us late. No, we didn't have our speed trails from El Paso. Due to weather, we had to pull them in. We just don't want the ice or whatnot out there. I have the drone mapping over on Ray Avenue. We'll get that to you now. Our drone guys were out there last week, right before Thanksgiving. Or I guess week before now. They took about 1,400 images of the property. So I have that whole map, and I'll give you the full shape on it. So I tried to send it to you, but it's too big. Way too big. So, other than that, we was working with environmental on the dump site down here behind 1919 Frank Road. And we did pull a stolen vehicle out of there, had several arrests out of that. So we're monitoring that. So
Have we
Anything?
seen, I have a quick story, but I have a question first. Have we seen a high number of stolen vehicles where people are warming up their cars?
Those are always increasing right now as the cold weather. We haven't. The cold weather hit so late. We haven't seen all the stats fully yet. I'm sure I'm starting to see that trend up across the county, in all the areas that I cover. So we're starting to see that number start to ease up, and it is. You're not allowed to leave your vehicle unattended running. So, yeah.
So I went to start my car, and this car doesn't have the remote start, so I carry 2 sets of keys.
Yeah.
So I started the car, locked it with the other remote, went back inside, gathered my stuff up to come here to a meeting, and let it warm up. I went out, locked the door, and as I was approaching the vehicle, somebody was coming up my driveway. So I went back to the front of the car and kind of ducked down and watched. And they looked on the driver's side, then they went to the passenger side and came up, and I stepped out and said, "Can I help you?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm looking for my phone." You're looking for your what? Phone. Well, did you check your pocket? He says, "No, last night I lost it somewhere right here and it was dark." So you were here last night on my property and you lost your phone. So unfortunately, he was probably gonna break the passenger window, unlock the door so he didn't have to sit in glass, so that he could steal my vehicle, and he had a place to put his suitcase that he was dragging behind him. So it was like, okay, so I'm just saying that it's amazing that if you start your car to warm it up, it's like having a picnic and the flies come out or the ants. It's just mind-boggling how quickly someone will be there for a crime of opportunity. So everyone needs to
Absolutely.
be careful in the morning.
Do you have any idea if that drone would catch that homeless camp on the other side of the tracks? I know you said you give it to.
On the railroad tracks. Yeah, it
The one
did.
that sits on the other side, just,
Yeah, it caught all that.
okay. I'd
So-
like to take a look at that, Byron, next week or sometime, please, thank you.
I'll show you afterwards as long as you can pull the master map up. It takes a lot of RAM to run it.
So we can go, I'm sorry.
That's okay, no, you're good. So at this time, I'd like to open the floor for any quick questions to the sheriff's department. Hearing none, I will close the floor, and thank you, sir. Moving on to the fire department, Chief Arnold.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. I just have some run stats, then just a couple of items. So for November, the fire department took 850 total runs. That's 717 in the city and 133 in the township. 6 for Jackson, 1 in Pleasant, 8 in Prairie. There were 13 fires, 4 of which were buildings, 9 cardiac arrests, 2 of which we got return of spontaneous circulation. That is road stats.
Can you give us an update? I have not been by the Shakers in at least 2 weeks. Has it been totally down now?
Yep. It's all laid in.
All cleaned up, ready?
It
Okay,
looks
good.
better than Ponderosa in my opinion.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's all
So,
laid down the sled.
so that was a 8-month ordeal that we had to deal with.
Absolutely. And then if I did have a resignation, if I could just get a motion, accepting the resignation of firefighter Joe Mason, effective December 8th, 2024.
So moved, if I can have a second.
I'll second it.
And if we can, have a roll call? Yes, please.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Reeser is excused.
So is he just going to greener grass, or
Yeah,
has he been
he's
with
the-
us long?
3 years. He was one of the most
Safer.
recent safer
Yeah,
gentlemen. He was holding out to see what the levy did, and
I understand.
he was the first casualty there.
So at this time, I'm gonna open the floor if there's any quick questions for the, police, fire chief. Mary?
Yeah, I don't know how to state this. The apartments across the road from me, Franklin Manor,
Okay.
the township fire department, last week ran over there, I think it was 3 to 4 different times. 2 times, the Columbus police met them over there. That is the city, on my side of the road is the township. Does the township fire department get reimbursed for making runs over there into the city?
So the fire department basically only collects transport, EMS transport fees. So if we transport somebody, their insurance pays for that transport and care.
There was one transport that I know of, I saw.
Yeah,
One, 2 times it was a squad, and the other time it was a fire truck. They were over there again last night, the police didn't show up. Why can't, I guess my question is, there's 2 Columbus fire departments close by, Station 10 and then the one up on Greenlawn Avenue. Why can't they, since the apartments are in the city, why can't they make the runs instead of using the township?
so the way our response agreement with the city of Columbus works is we just automatically send the closest truck. So it provides the best service for each entity, because there's a lot of township that we can't cover nearly as quickly as the city truck can get there. And then there's a lot of city that we can get to before the township can. So we basically say what's best for our communities as a whole for both of them is to just get the closest truck, be it city or township.
Well, when I was taking into consideration, the fire department, put on the levy and it didn't pass. With 2 Columbus fire, stations close by, especially 10 on Broad Street. It's about as close as what you guys are, the way I figured it. But, I just think, it's using our fire department when it should be Columbus, in that particular instance.
It's understandable.
But they go over, you guys are over there way too much, that apartment complex. I don't know what's going on. Police showed up, went in with the firemen 2 out of the 3 to 4 times.
911 for the fire service is basically, I don't know what to do, so I call the fire department. It's not necessarily ever an emergency.
Mary, a lot of times they don't know, sometimes Columbus can run in there. They have tracking on every piece of emergency vehicle. So the computer says this one is quicker because it's not on a run. I've rode with the guys before and we've been leaving Mount Carmel downtown and we had to go 2 streets over because we were coming back from the hospital, but it recognized where we were and somebody was having a heart attack and we went to there first. So a lot of times it's the closest piece of equipment at that moment that they're gonna send you. So it's complex, they got a board and they can see who is available right now, the closest to get there. So that's what they call mutual aid.
That's what I couldn't think of. I
Yes.
knew there was a special.
And the township has been compensated a little over $100,000 in 1 year for those runs. So another way to look at it, yes, we're using our fire department. However, the only thing that was a little bit different was a little bit of fuel. We still pay the guys whether they took that run or no run. So, and they also take runs if we're tied up, if there was an accident, and we've had this, and we have both of our medics tied up on a run, and you're having a heart attack, Columbus is gonna come to you immediately. It's like paying them a favor back. And, so that everyone is protected.
Well, I understand that, but it just seems like the township runs over there an awful lot.
Yeah, but I can assure you, we do get compensated. The residents do get compensated for those runs. So, and that does go into their budget. It doesn't go into anything else but the fire department.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna ask, before I close the floor, anyone else have a quick question? Hearing none, I'm gonna close the floor and,
I just have one note for
Okay.
good and welfare. Our first annual Franklin Township Holiday Parade is this Saturday, and we'll start right here at noon. And I made a quick pamphlet, I drove the parade route, earlier this week, and so I just put the times for the different neighborhoods where we expect to get to you. But it will take some time to get from this end all the way to the north end. We're trying to hit as many township streets as we can. We'll have Santa Claus and the Grinch with us on the trucks. The police are coming, the road crew's gonna be a part of it. I can just run quickly down the different neighborhoods. So if we start here with the tree lighting at noon, we should be to the Eastbrook neighborhood shortly thereafter. Then we'll go to Westbrook, shoot down to Brown Road. Hart and Richter, we'll do that loop about 12:25. Richmond Road will hit about 12:30. We'll serpentine through the triangle about 12:35. All the way to the top, back down the west side of the triangle. Come on down to Climb Road and head westbound, and then we'll hit the Rosary Edition, which is Glorious and Vanderburg, Durr, etc. We're looking to hit that about 1:05. Then we'll go across Fisher and up North Hague, do the little El Paso Lowell loop on that. Expected to get the money back about 1:20 in the afternoon. We'll go up to Ongaro about 1:30-ish. Then we'll come down to the Wilson's Road side of Lowell and El Paso. We'll go to Broadlawn Edition there about 1:40, then we'll hit the Havenwood Apartments about 1:50. It's about a 2-hour parade.
Yeah.
So stay warm, we'll make noise before we get on your street, so you stay warm and then come out and see Santa.
We'll also be, throwing out bags of candy. So we've got almost 700 bags of candy that's been made up, and it was all donated, no taxpayers' money. They're all ready to go, and, we'll be, the Santa Claus, the Grinch, and officers and firemen will be, and
The elf on the
Mary
shelf.
and the elf will be in the police cruisers, and I'm sure they'll be happy to pass out, so I wanted to add that. And before you get away from the podium, Bob, we had to have a meeting here last Thursday, and there was a PO that we were asked to sign for $25,000. It was and I wanna verify this because John had a question. So it was for your department, and when I investigated about it, it's an open PO for you to buy supplies, is that correct?
EMS supplies.
EMS supplies, so I wanted to get you an answer, and I needed to be on here because meeting was recorded, and you asked that question, and I want people to know, I'm very, try to do my due diligence when I sign something, and when that question was asked, I wasn't sure, so I wanted to come back and revisit it today to let people know what it was for. It was for your department, and what you just said, it was an open PO.
Can
So-
you mark that on your invoice, the open PO for EMS? Cause we were looking at that going, what is this for?
It should have been on there,
I
normally is.
didn't see it say it, but if
Okay.
you could just make sure that even if it's pen written, because we signed so many different ones, and I happened to look at that and I'm like, well, what is this for? So thank you, Mike, for catching that and
Thanks
looking
for
into that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, and I have these flyers if anybody wants some, and I'll leave them up with Nicole.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
They'll also be on the website.
Okay, Mr. Stevens, yes, you're up.
How's everybody doing this afternoon?
Staying warm.
It's cold.
Mm-hmm.
Got a couple things on the agenda for today. First, one, we'll give you our stats for November, what we were able to get written down here. Took 12 loads of brush, signs repaired throughout the township, speed limit sign on Hopkins, speed limit sign Cyril's repaired, Cromwell sign. Assisted in a tree removal and stump removal on Lennox and Forest. Picked up 2 loads of dump trash on Ray Avenue with the environmental patrol, and also down on Big Run, there was a big pile, that he called us on down there too. Picked up and installed the Christmas tree, which is out front. Had to do a catch basin repair on Nixon. Started our leaf collection, and in November, we picked up 70 loads of leaves throughout the township. Installed the post for the police, speed signs, multiple truck maintenance issues, made adjustments to the leaf box for the new leaf back, and serviced and winterized all of our summer equipment, getting it ready to be put away for the winter. So So that was pretty much our stats. Leaves took up a lot of our time in November. Real quick, to touch base on what Mr. Bailey was talking about in our sheriff's department, where we've been assisting them down at the old children's services. They requested that if we had any big logs or anything, we could, bring down here a couple months ago and put it just on the backside of the parking lot where their community garden is. And we did. We built a big, huge barricade to keep anybody from driving through there, and I think that's almost how they got down in there this past the other day. Well, they drove through it and just pushed everything out of the way.
Wow.
So down there meeting with the environmental patrol, Mr. Fahey and with Mr. Bailey, they'd asked if we had any other ideas on what we could put up in that area. Well, we just happen to have some old pieces of guardrail sitting back here behind the shop, that we will have to move whenever we start doing what we're gonna do back here. I told Mr. Bailey I would bring it up to the board's attention to ask them for approval to just get a couple 4x4s or 6x6s or something to put in the ground and bolt just a piece of guardrail, which will barricade and block that off from people being able to drive down in there, so it doesn't, kind of help limit the problem.
Okay.
The only other thing that we talked about is when you come in from behind the school that's down here, you come down the hill, you come across the bridge, we have people driving in down there also. So we talked about possibly putting a cable up at the actual bridge. There used to be a cable before you got to the bridge where people would still drive around it and come up. So actually putting some sort of a cable on the bridge. I know Soil and Water, Mr. Bailey said that they would reimburse us for any cost that we had involved in that, but I told him I would bring it up to the board to maybe do our part.
So, Mr. Blevins, do you have any, suggestions or comments?
The reimbursement is just for material, not any of the manpower
I'm sure that they'll probably reimburse us for the manpower too.
on that project,
Sure.
not the stuff that we just did the other day or anything like that, okay? That was all I had, sir.
So be it resolved by the Board of Trustees, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board gives, permission for, Jim Stevens, the road department, to move forward in helping out said neighbors, design and implement a road blocking device, for that area. If there's no further questions, I would ask for a second.
I'll second it.
For roll call.
Roll call when you're ready, sir.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Reed is excused.
Correct. Go ahead.
I appreciate that, and I'm sure they appreciate the assistance with that also. Building update, Mr. Mazur's got some things he's gonna be going over here in a little bit. We're still working on getting everything all put together. I was actually on the phone speaking with some people today, plumbing wise, also getting some information. Last thing that I have is a resolution, passing a resolution for the road paving projects for 2024. I'm gonna go ahead and read it because it pretty much takes care of everything. The Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, met in person in a regular meeting at 12 p.m. on Thursday, December 12th, 2024. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, the board made and approved a motion in the March 7th, 2024 Board of Trustees meeting authorizing the road superintendent to go into contract with the Franklin County engineers for the 2024 resurfacing project with an estimated cost at $442,355.95 to pave the identified roads within Franklin Township as outlined in the annual Franklin County Engineers Road Paving Project. Be it further resolved that the Franklin Township Board of Trustees authorize and approve payment for the final cost as provided by the Franklin County Engineers in the amount of $361,599.76. Be it further resolved that all formal actions of this board concerning relating to this resolution are passed in an open meeting of the board, and that all deliberations of this board and any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meeting open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121-22 of the Ohio Revised Code.
So let-
In March, when I presented to the board the county's estimate, this is what they figured it would cost to pave all the roads that we ended up paving. The cost, actually, when it was all said and done, the cost came in $80,756 less,
Okay.
so.
So question for you, with what you didn't get in your budget for next year, the hundred and, how much is it? that runs-
168.
168.
So 168, because Miss Justice, whatever she did, and it not being in there, that 168 would make a heck of a dent in the $361,599.76.
Yeah, that was for 24,
Correct,
and I think you're speaking of the 25 budget.
correct, I am, but when I'm
So,
comparing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is it carry forward, I think
Yeah,
is what we're
absolutely.
trying to get to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would actually, that would put monies to possibly do like what we did in 24 and 25.
Absolutely.
but There's no way.
So the significance is what I'm trying to show, since the numbers are right here. I'm trying to show what the significance of
Oh, yeah.
making an error, and she never did come to explain to the public of, what was, what happened, what transpired, or even an apology. But that just shows the public the cost factor, that could be your street. So are you looking for, is this an update, or are you looking for a resolution?
Well, no, this resolution, it
Okay.
should be in your packet to go ahead. This
I
way
have
we
it.
can go ahead and, I got the invoice from the county for the 361,599. So now by passing this resolution, it shows that you all passed the motion in March, and now we're passing the resolution.
Okay.
So I think we're looking for a second, or is that correct, Steve? or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So-
oh, go ahead, John.
At this time, if there's no further question on resolution 2024-197, a resolution, accepting the road paving project for 2024, I would entertain a second.
I'll second it.
Any questions? Hearing no questions, I would ask for a roll call.
Mr. Clevens?
Yes.
Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
And Mr. Leeser's excused.
I have a question, Mr. I almost called you Leeser Stevens. Now that we are where we are with the building with the building that's gonna be your building, are you going to take the lead? I know Steve has done a lot of the heavy lifting. I might be stepping out of my box, I'm assuming, because I know a lot of the time that he's spent in it with the monies and where it had to come from and et cetera, setting up appointments. You're gonna be the contact go person, is that correct?
I can, that's absolutely not a problem. You take a lot of stuff off Mr. Mazur's hands.
Because I think from this point, and you speak up too, sir, that from this point forward, when he's in here doing what we're working on other projects, I don't wanna call them silly questions, but if we got contractors,
Oh, yeah.
then that's something that, your department needs to handle.
Absolutely, and yeah, absolutely, and that was kind of, I think, the plan along, the way to do that. But everything that Mr. Mazur, I can't give him enough credit because it's been so instrumental with everything that he has done to get us to where we're at today. We've worked together on a lot of this, but what he's about to do here is gonna show you everything that he's been working on the money side,
Right.
everything. So, no, he's
Right.
been extremely instrumental, but to answer your question, absolutely.
Well, I didn't wanna put him on the spot, it's
Oh, no.
just me evaluating, going, okay, his time's
Absolutely.
valuable, and his
Very.
time was able to make it possible, so
Yeah.
from possibility to finish, I think that that's where you should take up.
That's not
So-
a problem.
So at this, did you have anything?
I guess I'm a little bit muddy here, so are we going to still to keep the committee working on this project? And we're gonna switch from working on the project with Steve to working on the project with you? Or, I mean, I know the committee's not going, no one's gonna be out there during construction but you. That's apparent. But I mean, so I guess I'm a little bit lost. I didn't know we were heading here, so.
We will keep the committee together through progress, yes.
Okay.
Because the committee's gonna have to be updated as well as the trustees.
Okay.
So every step of the way, yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
was my one and only
Yes, sir.
question.
So my thought, Mr. Blevins, is if there's questions in the job site or stuff that, that Jim can handle, there's no sense in pulling Mr. Mazur away.
I agree, I'm just saying, so that was my whole thing.
Yeah.
We're now, when we get there, the committee will we'll leave Steve open to do other business of the township. We will work with Jim.
Yeah, and Mr. Mazur's been instrumental with all the legality work and everything that had to be done through legal and, you know, within the fiscal department, things that I wouldn't have privy to.
Not to
So-
take anything away from Steve, but
No.
I feel like Jim has been involved in this project all along,
Sure.
alongside of Steve, so I just wanna make that.
But I'm
We've done a
just
lot of work
saying,
together on it.
yeah, and I'm just saying, since a lot of the legal and a lot of that's out, there's a lot that you can handle that not necessarily does it have
I'd
to.
be more than happy to.
Okay.
Falls in my wheelhouse.
So with that, I'm gonna open the floor for any quick questions for Mr. Stevens. Hearing none, I will close the floor, and I thank you, sir.
I thank you. And I have, Steve, I don't know, did Nicole put that resolution, I've got that estimate and the actual,
For the county? Yeah, I have a copy of the resolution. Oh, this?
yeah, this will
I'll
all,
attach
that's
that.
your estimate, and then this is the actual invoice, but I'll make another copy and fill out the thing, or fill out a either.
Okay,
So that should all hang in going with the resolution sheet.
perfect.
Okay, moving on, and I'm gonna turn this over to Mr. Mazer when you're ready for the fiscal department.
Yes, sir. The first thing I have is a motion to approve payroll written, as we presented at the December 12th regular meeting of Board of Trustees. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board makes a motion to approve the trustees and fiscal officer wages earned for the month of November 24 in a gross amount of $9,163.24, with an ACH deposit of funds on December 2nd, 2024. The board also approves the staff payroll for the periods of November 3, 2024 through November 16, 2024, and period November 17, 2024 through November 30th, 2024, in a combined total of $407,841.48. Direct deposits on November 22nd, 2024, and December 6th, 2024. Electronic vouchers 2268-2024 through 2438-2024, and the exhibits are attached.
If there's no further questions on the matter, I'd ask for a second,
I'll second it.
and whenever you're ready, sir.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
And Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Reeser is excused. I have motion to approve accounts payable. Be resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board makes a motion to approve accounts payable from November 13th, 2024 through December 6th, 2024, in the amount of $197,544.34. From electronic payment vouchers 2215-2024 through 2439-2024. And the payables are attached.
Any questions for the board?
I don't know.
Hearing none, I'd ask for a second.
I'll second it.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Reeser is excused. Okay, gentlemen, the next thing I have for you is, discussion and hopefully approval of the 2025 trustee meeting calendar.
Just real quickly, this is for the public, our schedule, for the year. There are some in here, rather than go through right now and try to pick out, like in May, there's 3 meeting months. We may be able to alter this, just like we did this month, and have, only 2 that month. So, Mr. Blevins, if you're fine with this, and if, as we come to the holidays, we can make corrections, then I would ask for a second.
Just discussion real quick, just so it's on the record.
Sure.
You did say that there would be the ability later on to change other things, i.e. if we decided to try to change the meetings to evening meetings, if the board so desired. I just
Okay,
wanna
so this-
put it out. I understand
Mhm.
that you're saying, I just wanna put it out there that I did ask about it, and your representation was that this is basically can be changed.
Correct, it can
Okay.
be changed. So
I-
we're not voting today on, this has no bearing whatsoever, it doesn't even have the times on it. Generally, that's set in, January, and with us having one trustee gone, today, I don't think it would be right to vote on any set times and things
Sure,
of
no,
that
I don't
nature.
either.
So, but thank you for that clarification. So with that, I would ask for a second
I'll
as the
second.
calendar is written. Hearing a second, I would ask for a roll call.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
And Mr. Reeves is excused.
So with that, the dates itself can be changed, times of the meetings will be, discussed in the January's meeting.
The next topic I have, and I'm gonna have more detail for you, I just wanted to bring this aware, to the trustees. Our second audit group is in, it's a company called Charles E. Harris and Associates. They have just started the audit of the period of 2020 through 2024. I'm going to meet with the gentleman who owns the company, Mr. James Bate, tomorrow morning at 8:30. I'm gonna get detail about this modified agreement that he has presented us. I need to know if we are gonna get billed on a monthly basis or a yearly basis. So before I give any additional information or have any more conversations with the trustees, I need to get, all my facts in line. But I just wanna let you know that we're gonna have this meeting tomorrow. One, to talk about the progress of the audit, and two, about the billing of the audit fees.
Okay. Cause we should, as we said last year at this time, we should be at the end of the tunnel, but,
We are, but this is a whole new cycle
Yeah.
now.
yeah.
You know, I think the last audit ended 2019, so now we're going from 2020 all the way through 2024. So it's another 4 or 5 years.
I have a question that I want you to get an answer for, maybe you already know it. They will be doing this off-site, we won't have their people in this building, will we?
Offsite.
Okay.
We reiterated that fact when they showed up a couple weeks ago, and I explained to them that we can't accommodate.
No, we
that.
can't do business here when we have people sitting in here.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The next resolution I have is Resolution 2024-185. It's a resolution approving contract with Pickle Lumber LLC regarding the construction of a new road department garage. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio approves and authorizes the entering of a contract with Pickle Lumber LLC regarding the construction of a new township road department garage at a cost not to exceed $175,000. Be it further resolved that all formal actions of this board concerning relating this resolution will pass in an open meeting of the board, and that all deliberations of this board and its committees result in such formal action in an open meeting to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be declared an emergency and be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
Any questions on said, resolution?
I have none.
Hearing none, I'd ask for a second,
I'll second it.
and a roll call when you're ready, sir.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleishman?
Yes.
And Mr. Reeves is excused. The next resolution I have is 2024-195. It's a resolution approving the obligations approved by the township administrator. for the period between November 15, 2024 and December 6, 2024. Whereas the Board of Township Trustees in Resolution 2021-130 authorized the Township Administrator to approve and incur obligations of $10,000 or less on behalf of the Township in accordance with Section 507.11 of the ORC. Pursuant to the provisions of Section 507.11A of the ORC, the obligations approved by the Township Administrator must subsequently be approved by adoption of a formal resolution of the Board of Township Trustees. The obligations incurred by the Administrator are presented in Exhibit A. Formal actions of this Board concerning and relating the adoption of this resolution was passed in an open meeting of this Board, and that all deliberations of this Board and its committees result in such formal action where meetings open to the public in compliance with Section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and be in full force effective immediately upon its adoption. And again, it's for the period of November 15, 24 through December 6, 2024, in the amount of $21,231.34.
Any questions on said resolution? Hearing none, I'd ask for a second.
I'll second it.
Hearing a second, I'd roll call when you're ready.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Leisure is excused.
Note that resolution 2024-195 has passed.
Next resolution I have is resolution 2024-198. Be resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio. The Board approves and authorizes the incumbents of ARPA funds not to exceed $65,000 to plumbing and drain professionals, specifically for a plumbing system for the Township's new road department garage. Be it further resolved that all formal actions of the Board concerning and relating this resolution will pass in an open meeting of the Board, and that all deliberations of this Board and any of its committees have resulted in such formal action, or a meeting open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the ORC. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be declared an emergency and be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
Any questions in regards to resolution 2024-198?
Yeah, I do have a question. I just wanna make sure of.
Okay.
Does this take care of the ARP funds now, then? Are we, gonna be?
Yes, so all these resolutions that, I'm gonna read today will allow us to finalize our ARPA report for 2024, and that we've allocated all our funds.
That was my point of the question.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Maybe you were gonna say it later on, but it came up here and I wrote myself a note. I just wanna make sure that we take advantage of everything that we had coming our way, that we can do, so.
And I'm gonna meet with Jeff. I was hoping to see Nicole tomorrow to get these reports off. But, I'm gonna meet with Jeff Wilczek Monday morning just to kind of double and triple check ourselves and all our funding.
That's the only question, sir.
Okay, hearing that, if there's no further questions, I would ask for a second for resolution 2024-198.
I'll second it.
Hearing that, I would ask for a roll call when ready.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Leisure is absent.
So, resolution 2024-198 has passed.
The next resolution I have is 2024-199. It's a resolution of approving ARPA funds for the purchase of a heating unit for the new road department garage. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio approves and authorizes the incumbents of ARPA funds not to exceed $15,000 to Classic Incorporated, specifically for a heating unit for the Township's new road department garage. Be it further resolved that all formal actions of the Board concerning and relating this resolution are passed in an open meeting, of the board and all deliberations of this board and any of its committees that result in such formal action were the meeting open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
Any questions regarding, resolution 2024-199?
No,
Okay, if I can have a second,
I'll second it.
and
Roll
roll
call,
call.
Mr. Blevins,
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman,
Yes,
and Mr. Leisure is excused.
and resolution 199 has passed.
Do I need to sign that?
Oh, yes, you do. Now it'll pass.
I believe I need to sign the next one too.
Yes, I apologize.
No, that's fine, I just,
I'm used to being the last person
Yep.
to sign it.
if you're keeping them in order, I believe it's that one,
Okay,
and then that one.
gotcha.
I have resolution 2024-200. It's a resolution approving ARPA funds for architectural and site engineering services relating to the construction of the new road department garage. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio approves and authorizes the incumbents of ARPA funds not to exceed $50,000 specifically for architectural services, including building design, construction documents, and site plans provided by Ronald J. Bayok and Associates for the Township's new road department garage. Be it further resolved that all formal actions of this board concerning related to this resolution will pass in an open meeting of the board, and that all deliberations of this board and any of its committees that result in such formal action were in a meeting open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
Any, questions?
I do not.
And I have attached his agreement to this resolution.
Hearing none, I would ask for a roll call.
I have to second it first.
Oh, I apologize.
No, it's
Thank
all
you.
right. I second.
What is it, 200? Okay.
Yes, 200.
Roll call. Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes,
And Mr. Leisure's excused.
note that resolution 200 has passed.
I have resolution 2024-201, resolution approving ARPA funds for the demolition of the existing road department garage. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio approves and authorizes the encumbrance of ARPA funds not to exceed $25,000 to Lowe and Dick and Sons specifically for the demolition of Township's existing road department garage that is no longer safe or usable. Be it further resolved that all formal actions and reports concerning related to this resolution will pass in an open meeting of the board, and that all deliberations of this board and any of its committees will result in such formal action. For the meeting open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared emergency and be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
Jim, are you gonna take out, like, for instance, of that building and just set it aside, like, the upper heater unit and stuff like that? I mean, it's an older unit, but is that something we would need anywhere else?
I mean, we can take them all out of there, but we fight that older unit that's in there almost weekly. I'm
Okay.
actually working on it now, but there's certain things that we will be taking out of there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because even if we set it in a new building in case we needed a backup heater or somewhere in the township.
We'll take it out.
Okay, if there's no questions on resolution 201, I'd ask for a second.
I'll second it.
Here in a second, a roll call when you're ready, sir.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Leisure's excused.
Hearing that, resolution 201 has passed.
I have resolution 2024-202. It's a resolution approving ARPA funds for the installation of garage doors on the new road department garage. Be resolved that the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio approves and authorizes the encumbrance of ARPA funds not to exceed $37,000 to Door Depot for the installation of garage doors for the Township's new road department garage. Be it resolved that all formal actions of this board concerning and relating this resolution were passed in an open meeting of the board, and that all deliberations of this board and any of its committees have resulted in such formal action were in a meeting open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and be in full force and effective immediately upon its adoption.
Any questions in regards to said resolution?
No,
Hearing none, I'd ask for a second,
I'll second it.
and a roll call when you're ready, sir.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Leeser is absent.
Resolution 202 has passed.
Next resolution I have is 2024-196. It's a resolution to provide supplemental appropriation number 15 for the period commencing January 1, 2024 and ending December 31st, 2024. Whereas it is necessary to provide for the current expenses and other expenditures of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio during the year ending December 31, 2024. The annual appropriations resolution 2023-270 for the period from January 1, 2024 through December 31st, 2024 needs amended. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Township Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, the sums presented on the attached exhibit A's and B's, hereby attached B and the same are hereby set aside and appropriated for several purposes for which expenditures are to be made during the year ending December 31st, 2024. All formal actions of this board concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution are passed in an open meeting of this board, and in all deliberations of this board and any of its committees that result in such formal actions were in open meetings in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and shall be enforced effectively immediately upon its adoption.
Any questions on said resolution?
I don't have any.
I'm sorry,
No,
is this Jeff's engagement letter?
no.
Which,
No, I'll come up to that.
okay, so,
This is new
The-
funds,
right.
predominantly,
got it. My finger slid down. I apologize, because that's why I was like, wait a minute, is this?
Jeff's next is next.
Yeah, I gotcha. Hearing
I did jump
no
over.
questions, I'd ask for a second.
I was just keeping it to,
Yeah,
you want to engage with that?
and then do we have a second?
I did.
Okay.
Oh, I seconded it.
Oh,
I don't think we did the
No,
vote.
Mr. Blevins,
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman,
Yes,
and Mr. Leeser's excused.
and resolution 196 has passed.
Okay, now you can have it.
Okay. I just trying to follow down in my check marks.
This is resolution 2024-203, it's a resolution accepting engagement letter number 31 between Jeff Wilczek, CPA, and Franklin Township Board of Trustees. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, the board approves to accept engagement letter number 31 between Jeff Wilczek, CPA, and the Franklin Township Board of Trustees for 150 hours at $60 an hour, for a total not to exceed $9,000.
Questions on regards to resolution 203?
Yeah. Discussion.
Okay.
So I will not, pass this, with the way it's written today, and I know we're up against it because of the, end of the year. He's asking for 150 hours. I'm gonna give examples of why I'm not happy. When I sat back there and now that I'm on the board, I've asked for years why we're paying somebody that kind of money to do the W-2s. We should be able to do the W-2s in-house. He was doing W-2s when Mary Reinhardt was here. I think Nick Dunn may have done the W-2s 1 year. Other than that, he's done the W-2s every year. Robin has consistently been here, and we have Nicole too. So if we're gonna pay Jeff Wilczek to do the W-2s, these two ladies have to be trained this year to learn how to do them. Because we're not gonna continue, as long as I'm on this board, to pay him $60 an hour to do these W-2s. So, to get us through this time crunch, what I'm willing to do is to go ahead and say 50 hours. And then it can come back when the whole board's here, and I think the desire of the whole board is to go ahead and, pay him, let him have the whole, if the board was here in whole, I feel confident that this would go through. I've been a no vote on this all the way through, and I would continue to be a no vote on this. We have a fiscal officer that is drawing a paycheck, and she's not doing any work, and it's her responsibility to see that these things are done. And when I get questioned, you know, or when I'm trying to call and get questions about investigations and things like that, and everything, and the way they treat you and stuff like that, I don't appreciate that. So, she's a fiscal officer, let her answer for this. We're trustees. We're, you know, she has to present the numbers to us, and then we vote on exactly what we've been doing here today. And she's drawing a paycheck, and then we're gonna pay this man to do her job. So, to get around this today, because we're up against the, end of the year and he needs hours, I would be happy to pass 50 hours.
To amend it to 50 hours.
Yep, and then you can bring it back at the next meeting and put the other 100 hours across, if you guys want, still want to do so, but I will never be in support of it.
And, like-minded, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I hate it when I don't have a choice, because the work has to be done. I'm glad you said what you said. One of the things that concerns me, and we gotta look into, if we train Robin or Nicole to do the W-2s, Steve, we need to ask legal about what is called errors and omissions. If there is a mistake on a W-2, who is held liable if that comes back on that said employee or that W-2? I know that, we had this very situation with 33, if I remember, 33 W-2s at the cost of the township of $300 and some thousand. And, we were able to appeal it, and we were able, with Julie's help, to be able to get the IRS to understand it was a clerical error. But what we were under the gun and what it cost us in legal fees was substantially lower than the $300,000 that we were being penalized for. So I would just wanna get some clarification. Now, Jeff doing the W-2s, he has, have we checked his, insurance and et cetera for his business as an independent? Steve? Have we
No, I
checked-
have not, no, I have not.
If we could,
Sure.
verify that he has errors and omissions, rider or a form of insurance for errors and omissions, because if someone is working for the township and that same mistake would happen, it would go on to that particular person's, just if I'm hiring a CPA to do mine, that CPA has insurance that's gonna cover what the IRS is going to, impose on, fees and et cetera. So we just need to make sure that he is, I don't even know if we've ever asked if he has errors and omissions. So, but with that being said, go
I
ahead,
do-
sir.
So I do wanna make sure you understand, this isn't me about Jeff Wilczek. I think Jeff Wilczek more than capable of doing his job.
Sure.
I'm sure you got the same, paperwork that I got, but like, we're gonna pay, in this hours of 150 hours, he wants to open and set up the UAN. That's Lisa, I mean, that is, Lindsay's job.
Sure.
You know, there's 5 things here, John, that you needed to read, and I'm sure you did, but
Please
these
do.
are all things that he's doing.
Right, can you bring that out for the public, please?
So,
If you feel comfortable?
well, I mean, I don't, so here, you wanna read it?
Sure.
You're happy to
You've got
read it,
yours
right
up.
there, it's right there.
Okay, so what Mr. Blevins is,
You want a hard copy, is that easy?
I've got it right here. what Mr. Blevins is, speaking about is we're gonna be paying, our accountant, that is here to help on other issues. Now we're gonna be paying with taxpayers' dollar twice. Opening and setting up UAN for 2025, post-year-end transactions in UAN necessary to close 2024 and silicate to the bank the UAN for December 2024, prepare the 2024 W-2s and the 1099s for distributing and filing, prepare year-end reports to be filed with the county budget commission. And a lot of these is a lot of work, but we do have somebody that the people of this township has voted for and is paying approximately $32,000 a year plus benefits to do. And prepare UAN submissions for year end and notes and annual report to the auditor of state, continue to address issues with the audit for the period of 2020. And this is what he was actually hired to do. So out of 1 through 6, this engagement letter should have been only for this. Continue to address issues with the audit for the period of 2020 through 2024 within the limits of this engagement letter. So Mr. Blevins is 100% correct that 5 of the 6 notations of what this money that we're asked to pass and what it needs to go for we should not be spending taxpayer dollars. I feel that my hands are handcuffed if we say no, then we put the township in a worse position. So, with that, I am going to ask for passage of such motion with the change to 50 hours to be noted.
I'll second that.
What? So basically,
Perfect time.
so basically, this guy is doing it like dipstick is supposed to be doing.
And if I can have I have a second, can I get a roll call when ready?
Can I see that real quick?
Sure. The hours should be the only thing changed. And then that'll take us into January, we can have the discussion with the full board. Maybe our fiscal officer will show up at the beginning of the year and start the year off right. How's it say, buy your arms, be gone? How's that song go? Maybe we need to play that song as we leave today.
Another one bites the dust.
Let me change
Can I
this.
just-
This is just for reference.
Right at the end, I'll open it up.
This is just reference.
Hang on that
For
question.
me. Okay, I'm sorry, I just need.
Sorry.
No worries.
I'm sorry, I realized I deleted the wrong word.
Okay,
I'm so sorry.
not a worries. You caught it, that's what counts.
We'll let him see it, John, before you sign it.
Okay,
The ones
so-
you just brought
I
up.
deleted
Which
word
word?
1 instead of.
It's okay,
Okay,
yeah, it's all right.
okay.
You did
Still
good,
work? Oh,
We-
you attach it.
Attach this to that, if you
I
would.
don't think we voted yet, did we, Steve?
No, no, sir.
So
Not yet.
I just wanna make sure we're doing this correct. I will attach it.
Okay.
Can we,
If I could have a vote when you're ready.
You got a second, did we not?
yes.
Michael, okay. Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Lees is excused.
So note passage of a resolution, 203 has
Back.
passed with the correction of 50 hours. Okay, sir, what else you have for us?
That just reminds you, so when I sit down with Jeff, we can adjust this.
Okay, at least
That's
at
it.
least work can continue through the first of the year. And thank you for your support, sir.
No, thank you. I'm glad you understand.
Okay, and you have what,
Just,
2 more?
I think 2 more. I have 2024-194. It's a resolution to request 2025 advance on property tax settlement. The Franklin County Auditor's Office has made possible for the advances on real estate tax settlements to be distributed via electronic transfer. Therefore, be it resolved that the Franklin Township Board of Trustees requests in advance on all funds as they become available during the calendar year 2025 from the Franklin County Auditor's Office, and there's an exhibit attached. All formal actions of this board concerning and related to the adoption of this resolution were passed in an open meeting of this board, and that all deliberations of this board and any of its committees have resulted in such formal action. Board meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and be in effect immediately upon its adoption.
If there's no further questions on resolution 194, I would ask for a second.
I'll second it.
Here in a second, I would ask for a roll call, please.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes.
Mr. Fleshman?
Yes.
And Mr. Leisure is absent.
Resolution 194 has passed. And you have one more, I believe it's, was it 196?
128.
188? Yes. Thank you, sir.
Alright.
Had quite a bit this time. You're trying to scare us so that we don't, not scare us, you're trying to fool us, you're using the alphabet versus letters.
Let me double check this one
Page 12 today.
I just don't wanna duplicate. No, sir, that's the last one. We had a duplicate here, it looks familiar, I just wanted to double check.
So we are completed on the 12th,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Okay, so at this time, I'm gonna, Mr. Leisure is absent. The only thing that I have this holiday, I wanna say, you know, it's been a pleasure working with the board for the whole year. We have the holiday season coming up. If you have neighbors and people that you know, that may be by themselves this holiday time is always hard on people that there's no one there. It can be almost like another day to them. You know, pick up a phone call, make a phone call, and, you know, just make somebody's day. Other than that, that's all I have. Do you have anything?
Yeah, I do. I wanted to, first of all, say, anybody that would like to stop up here, we have the dedicated, the plaque for the dedication for the tree, it'll be over there. Some
Awesome.
people are elderly, can't make it over there, so I had it set out here, and you're more than welcome to file by after the meeting's over and take a look at it. We'll be dedicating the tree right at 12 noon, and the parade will kick off from here, as Bob said. If anyone in the township anyone would like, we saved a few bulbs. If you would like on Saturday to come and place some bulbs on the tree, you're more than welcome to do so. They're here and ready to go. And then on the holiday, I just wanna wish each and every one of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Mr. Blevins?
Thank you, John.
What if we was to, there's a trail that I walk on, it goes down along, what is it? The dam, on 33, Briggs Dam. There's a trail that somebody would put a bulb up, and then I notice other people just put their own ornaments up. What if someone wants to bring their own ornament from their family or et cetera and put it on the tree?
First thing that comes to mind, John, on that is you're gonna have to put somebody in charge that's gonna have to say if it's okay. You understand what I'm
So,
trying to
yeah,
say?
I guess
I'm not gonna be tree monitor.
Yeah, I got you.
If somebody would like to come by and place an ornament on the tree, you're more than welcome
You know,
to.
someone, I noticed that.
It's
they-
your tree.
Yeah.
We did this, or James's idea, everybody. James said he loved Christmas, and he wanted to do a tree. I thought it was a great idea. I said I would help, and I've done all the help that I can do. And so it's out there. The staff here and the township has done as much as they can do. The tree will get dedicated on Saturday, and it'll be here for years to come. And I hope it grows very high and very tall and flourishes for a long time. So that's all I have, sir.
Okay, and then I'm gonna open up the floor for any questions in regards to anything in the meeting. If we can keep it at, a quick one, that would be great. And Jan, I wanna start with you, because you had your hand up a while ago, so you still have that question.
Okay, basically, Robin and Nicole, and I'm sure Steve is too, is doing the job
That is correct.
of her. So, what do we do to get rid of that and take care of Robin and Nicole and Steve for their extra work?
The hardest part is we are trying, I know Mr. Blevins has made calls on behalf of the township, and I know residents have filed affidavits on this. So at this time, it's out of our hands. We do have a few things that we are looking at with legal that we can possibly do at the start of the year. And I think that would make a difference. But it's basically trying to get it into the court's hands for a judge to make a decision, because we have no authority in that area. So,
But for somebody not doing a job.
Oh, I
and
agree.
It's our taxpayer money that's paying the douche for not doing it, for
and,
not doing it, her job.
yeah, and please make calls. You can make
Oh, I
calls
have
to,
been.
yeah, okay. So, Brenda, you had a quick question?
Well, to answer your question a little bit, it's now, it's still under investigation, but now there's criminal charges as far as theft, cause it's more than $7,500.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Hearing none, it is now 1:35, and we are adjourned. This is our last meeting of the year, and thank you guys very much.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.